Hey, good morning everybody, or good day, whatever time you see this. This is AJ with Hippie Fertilizing. We're about to do a lawn restoration service on a fairly large lawn. It's smaller up front, it's definitely bigger in the back. You'll see that later in the video. Today we're gonna put down 3 bags of one of my favorites, Humates Plus. We're also gonna hook them up with 2 bags of 424 Microlife Organic Fertilizer. So, first let's talk about a little bit about this Humates Plus. It's a 004. It has molasses, seaweed, humates, yucca, something that y'all may have never heard of and don't know about. Yucca is a product that helps disperse water molecules and particles so that it goes deeper into the soil. All right? So it works great. It helps basically your product penetrate deeper. It's also biologically inoculated, adding good bacteria, good fungi, so that we can boost up what's called the rhizosphere. All right, every plant has a rhizosphere. What it literally means is the area around the root zone. All right, let's take a little bit more of a look. We have a little bit of sulfur in here. We have potassium sulfate, nitrogen fixing bacteria, and mycorrhizal fungi. So the nitrogen fixing bacteria, the mycorrhizal fungi, is 2 of those things that are going to be very active around the rhizosphere of the plant, right? Humates and molasses add lots of minerals and feed the soil microbes, boost everything up. Iron is good, and sulfur is something that's very important in very small amounts to unlock everything and allow everything to move through the plants. There's a lot more going on in there. We'll discuss that in a second. So the other thing we're going to use, they don't have fancy bags yet, but we got Microlife 424. Let's see if I can pull this off all pretty. Let's see what's in here. Alfalfa, fish meal, kelp meal, manganese sulfate, potassium sulfate, whatever Milo is. Someone told me, I forgot though, to be perfectly honest. Molasses, humates, magnesium oxide, also yucca, ferrous sulfate, zinc sulfate. Zinc is super important for a lot of processes in plants too. All right, there's tons of things in these 2 products that are micronutrients that do a lot of the work in plants and soil biology, right? We often talk about NPK. Everyone knows you need nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. What about the micronutrients? Well, these 2 products right here have loads of them. So we're gonna feed the soil. We're gonna feed this lawn. We're gonna show you how it's done. Follow Hippie Fertilizing. Let's see. Today, we're using the Echo RB60. I love this thing. Has a little spring lever, whatever it is, handle. All right, side guard, and it fits full bags of every Microlife product. Not every fertilizer spreader out there does. And it's easy to calibrate because it has the lever and then also this thing on the back so we can control better how much we're putting out at one time. Excellent for Humates Plus and Microlife Hybrid. I'm gonna get started. I'll be right back with you. So we're back. We got all the Humates Plus out. Please excuse the dogs. You know, we work around homes. So, something to know about this product here is, as you can see, it's like rabbit food pellets. The form that it comes in, it's fairly hard. So it does require a lot of watering initially so it can break down and expand. The more you water it the first few days, the faster and the better it's going to work. So Like if you forget, it won't burn your lawn, but if you want it to work, water it in well. You want it to expand, you almost want it to disappear in the first week. All right, so we're gonna put this down. It's on the highest setting, because these products like this do take more, like a higher setting, to put out more volume versus like the Humates Plus or the Microlife Hybrid. Let's get going. Right now, it's still cooler. It's like April and it was 50 degrees this morning. This stuff is holding a lot of moisture. It means it's really heavy. But with the, this kind of blend, it's very stable. If I were to take a chunk out of the lawn right now, you would see we have lots of clay. We're in South Houston, Lake City, Texas. Okay, lots of clay soil. I talk about it all the time. And guess what? It ain't gonna change because we're still gonna have clay soil, right? But we have this very sandy mix that has a little organic matter in there, a little bit of clay particles, because clay is still good. I don't want to demonize it, but we have to have soil aggregates, okay? And doing this process with our fertilizer, our soil, and then later on our Hippie Juice, which we'll get to, we will help develop soil aggregates through a process called soil flocculation. So here's something that I like. If you squeeze it, it holds form, but it doesn't take very much to crumble it. That is super important. It's also something to look for in good quality compost. Now, I will say when something is more wet, it's going to do that easier anyway. So you want a compost that's holding moisture naturally really well, and you want a soil that's holding moisture naturally really well. So you may ask, like, well, can't moisture be a bad thing? Yeah, it can, but it's also a great thing. Microbes, bacteria, fungi require it, and moisture and water to like grow and thrive and solubilize minerals. So we want to have a nice balance of moisture. We want things to flow through, but we also want to retain a little bit, and that's where organic matter comes in. And that's where properly trying to develop in soil aggregates to help us do that. Because those microbes will produce stuff like glomalins, which is soil glues, right? And the better we do that, then the more naturally aerated the lawn is. Because I get asked, the number 2 question probably, besides how do you kill the weeds, is do you core aerate the lawn? No, I don't. I've done core aeration. It's a bogus service. We need soil flocculation, not core aeration. We need soil biology, not core aeration. We need to feed the microbes, not core aeration. I say that because I got asked the other day, if I do this, some guy thinks he has a big client that I'm just gonna do anything for. I'm not. I stick to my guns because I have a very high success rate. And I don't use a core aeration machine because every time I found it to be subpar in the results for the effort you have to put out. So feed the soil, organic fertilizer, top dress, Hippie Juice, baby. And so I'm gonna keep going, and I'll be back at you. We are about squared up with the actual top dressing. As you will see clips throughout this video, we did this 3 cubic yards with a wheelbarrow and rakes. We did it by hand. This material can be used in my machine. Honestly, it takes even longer because I have to do very small loads. So in my top dressing machine, it doesn't really work too well. But let's take a look and see how it all spread. Is it perfect from inch to inch of the lawn? Not necessarily. Did we get an amazing coverage though out of 3 cubic yards on this big lawn? Yes, we did. So let's take a look. See what we got going on here. And I just want to point something out. You see all this stuff here? This means kids play here. This is a huge reason why I do what I do. Because you want your kids to be able to run around barefoot. You want them to be able to fall in the grass. How many little kids do you know have picked stuff off the ground and put it in their mouth? Right? They do. It's nature. It's childhood. The last thing you want to worry about is Roundup, weed and feed, herbicides, insecticides, this aside, that aside. I always say, if it says aside, set it aside, because we ain't trying to practice any kind of biological genocide, okay? We want the best for you, your family, our environment, our home. So we won't cut corners and say, oh, well, we'll use an herbicide this time, or we'll use a fungicide this time. I'm not doing it. And this should paint a little picture of why. Because kids are going to come out barefoot and jump on the trampoline. Dogs are going to run around. Kids and dogs roll around in the grass together. Are you going to tell your dog, hey, wait 24 hours till you get back on the lawn? You're not. Do you want to have to keep your kids inside for 24 hours? You don't. Right? That's why you got a big backyard, so they can play. Let them play. Let them get some dirt in their mouth. It's organic. It's good stuff. I've even eaten it. I'm crazy, I know, but hey, this is why we do what we do. As you can see, it's not no easy work. We put a layer down, and he goes back over it, or we go back over it, so it settles even better into the grass. Yeah, so that's the lawn top dressing, soil top dressing portion of this. We'll be back at you on the final part where we spray down some serious hippie juice. That hippie juice is coming out dark today, y'all, and you can tell. So we're finally on the last part of the lawn restoration. As you may be able to see in the video back there, the coloration difference on the grass that has been sprayed to what hasn't. I made it super duper thick. Alright? Because this was like a triple lawn restoration. Right? This is the last part of the job. Fertilizer, soil, hippie juice. We're trying to stimulate microbes. We're trying to support soil biology. Remember this term, soil flocculation. It's better than core aeration. If you don't believe me, just keep checking out what we do, okay? So check out hippiefertilizing.com, check out some hippie juice, and we'll be back with you next time. Peace.